Hey my friends, welcome to today's video. And at last I've gotten Taiwan out of the way and time flies. So it's been it's been more than a month since the event, and it's back to the grind for me. Just gotta get way stronger. And the first thing I did when I came back was to rest. Rested for 3 full days to get my groins back. They were just completely ruined after the event. So back home, back on the trainer, kicked off training with some base work, more base work, then intervals and more intervals. So just trying to find the rhythm again. So the intervals were a little harder than since it was almost 2 weeks since the last one. So the human body just closes shop so quickly. As soon as you don't need it, you lose it, and that's that. So then every Wednesday is a race day. I try to race once a week. Just treat it as a fun and unstructured way to inject more intensity into the week. I prioritize structured training more at this point, as my primary goal is to continue building and improving my aerobic base. So as for races, pick one that gives me what I need, don't get dropped, and get some solid work done in the process. And that brings us to the first of the 4 races that I've done in the past month. So again, gotta be picky. So the first one, the Muckle Yin in Scotland. So it's the longest route on the Scotland map. It takes us through almost every segment in the Scotland world, if I'm not wrong. You have to go through the Clyde Kicker, the Breakaway Bray, but I chose to race in this one for the Sker Summit North. So I haven't done that, and I know it's gonna give me 3 minutes of solid work. So into the race, Castle Climb no problem, Reverse Breakaway Bray no problem. Then I got dropped. So the Sker Summit North, it's a 3 minutes plus effort at category B level. So I thought I paced myself well, but looking at it right now, I think I was just putting too much watts at the start, trying to stay close to the front guy when I could sit back a little more, especially when the gradient wasn't that steep. So if you want to see real efficiency, you gotta check out Rob Bain, aka Zwifter's view on the same climb. He conserved his energy and put the power in when it was needed, and that's something I really need to learn. When it came to the final stretch, I was spent. So I think I did about 388 watts for 3+ minutes, and it just wouldn't cut it. The group kicked in and I was struggling to hang on. I also got a bit disturbed by that big loop before the banner. So by the time I got to the banner, the front group had 3 seconds on me going into the descent. And if you Zwift, you will know that it's super difficult for a solo rider to catch a group on the descent. So yeah, I got dropped. However, it's not like a point of no return. I know I'm heavy and I could use that to my advantage. So I surged twice during the descent, hoping that it would bring me closer to the group. And at the end of the descent, we were 5 seconds apart. And that was my chance to try to bring myself back to the pack. So while the pack was resting, I had to work really hard to get back. And while I was working hard, Rob was just sipping brandy, his words, not mine, talking to his viewers on his live stream. So I think there's a big difference there in the level. So with the Sker Summit North out of the way, there's nothing much to worry about except for Zwifty's special solo breakaway. So I think that's like a top level move that only people at the end of the category can pull off. So it's almost like Shaq playing bully ball. I've seen this in his video, but to witness it here was something else. So here you can see Rob breaking away from the group with 2.8 kilometers left to go. There's a long way to go, and it's gonna take a lot to create and then maintain the distance. So if he survives the Clyde kicker, then the chances of him running away becomes exponentially higher. And yeah, he maintained the lead from the Clyde kicker, and there was nothing left to stop him. So I think he won the race comfortably, 3 seconds in front of the second place. The rest of us would just squabble over second and third. I think I finished fourth, but more importantly, I got the intensity that I need. I met him again the following week at Lutece Express. It's part of the whole Cobble Crusher event that Zwift is doing. So again, I cherry-picked the race because I needed it to be of high intensity. So when I heard about the burrito walls, I just couldn't resist. Oivin said he almost got dropped, but came in first. I also saw how the burritos made the race tough for Rob, so it got me really intrigued. The course itself is flat. The only danger lies in that long ramp up to the Arc de Triomphe. So even then, it's just a 1+ minute effort. It's super intense in the Zwift Racing League when points are involved. So in a normal race like this, it can be quite boring. However, the burritos just made this race a bit more dangerous. So burritos are one of the 7 power-ups that you can get in the game. And every time you pass through a segment, you'll be given a power-up. Different events, different sets of power-ups. What this nasty little bugger does is that it cuts off all drafting benefits to everyone around you and yourself within a 2.5 meters radius. So even if you don't Zwift, you will know how effortless it is to sit in a group's draft, and cutting that off is just gonna make you work harder throughout the entire race. So after a rather calm lead-in, we are going through the first arc of the day where everyone will be collecting a power-up. So I got a ghost power-up, and I kept that all the way to the end. Just have no need for the burrito. I just needed to avoid people who are using it. So within seconds, you can see a series of burritos just exploding everywhere. I don't think they actually know what's going on, and you can see the effects of the burrito. So every time someone uses it, they go all the way back. And every time I see a burrito around me, I just increased my power a little just to get away from them. I remember trying to stay alert, but at the same time, kind of having a lot of fun. Another ramp up, no problem at all. A few cheeky burritos, but apart from that, it was all good. Then fresh burritos out of the oven, which really made me laugh because it's just so amusing. Every time you see a spike in my power chart, that's probably because I was trying to avoid a burrito. So we then go to the finish, which was a 1 kilometer ramp down. Used my goals because I actually wanted a burrito. I know that the attack range might increase in a ramp down, and I wanted to cut myself from the pack behind me and move to the front for the finish. However, I didn't know that Rob was behind as well, so I think he was kind of annoyed. I later apologized in his YouTube video, but all is well because he would then later use the ghost power up to perfection and win the race again. So for me, I just get to catch my breath a bit before having another go to the finish. By then my leg was quite spent and I had to settle for a 7th place finish. So I was expecting Rob in the following week, Cobbled Climbs, but I think the dirt racing series just started, so I think clashed a bit. I personally think it's the most dangerous course out of the 3 so far. Libby Hill and the 23rd Street is tough. However, the Governor's Climb is my Achilles heel. So 3 back-to-back climbs are brutal and really puts my recovery to the test. So I was prepared to be dropped for real this time. I sprained my back in the previous week and I was already feeling the fatigue. I struggled with the intervals the previous day. So anyway, in the previous race there was the burritos to worry about, and in this one it's the Anvil. So the Anvil increases the rider's weight by 50 kg when the gradient is more than negative 1.5% for 30 seconds. That can be super powerful on the descent, and when the stars align, you get a couple of strong riders at the front with the Anvil. You could be in big trouble. So I survived Libby, no problem with that one. And then I got an Anvil, and that's great. The best place to activate it is on the descent after Libby, which would lead us to the 23rd Street. Just look at the speed I gained with the Anvil, it's just ridiculous. I then used that momentum and powered my way through the 23rd. I think I put out too much power, which was completely unnecessary. I still needed the group, which not a smart move. I just got excited and got caught off guard by the power of the Anvil. So another Anvil after the 23rd Street segment, good for me, not so much for the group behind me, especially for those without the Anvil. They just had to work so hard on the descent just to catch the group. And remember, Libby, 23rd and the Governor Street are back-to-back climbs, just absolutely horrible. 3 Anvils for me right now, which means it's gonna be my turn to suffer soon. I got a feather after the second Libby, and I now became a victim of the Anvil. So I didn't have it in me to catch the Anvil group on the descent, and I just accepted my fate. After the 23rd Street segment, the front group is now scattered on Governor Street, and by then I was spent, so finished 11th, completely average, but just gonna take it as another good session in the back. Casse-Pattes, I googled that one. Another pretty dull course, so we had to do the reverse course in the previous Zwift Racing League season, Rumapu, and it was super intense because we had to sprint 3 times through the point segments, and we also had to do the Petit Com twice. No real danger in this course except for the Petit Com. It's a 5 minutes effort in category B, and you will usually need around 4.5 watts per kg to survive the segment. So I learned my lesson from the first one and conserved my chakra for the kicker towards the end. I was speeding at a high cadence, but in the saddle, staying in the draft and just trying to manage my breathing. In the end, it was alright. I got out of the saddle and used my body weight to try to save my legs as much as I could for the finish. And then the finish was kind of deceptive. I got faked by this Zwift bug and went for the sprint 100 meters early, so that's not cool. And to anyone that says that it's all about power on Zwift, you can see there's really more to it. I mean, it's a video game after all, so I approach it like how I would approach playing Dota, for example. Just taking team tactics and strategies aside, so many things that will affect an individual's race. Lots to learn. So you will see that the recurring thing for me right now is that I ease off towards the end of the banner. And it's not that I don't want to win, but it's just that mentally the intent wasn't there, and physically I don't have it right now. My main focus is on building my aerobic base, and racing on Zwift is one of the ways to help me do that. I'm looking at some time in July and August to start working on my 15 to 30 seconds power again for the Zwift Racing League. So it's not exactly a drastic taper, it's just decreasing my time spent on endurance rides and giving some of that to work on my sprints. So instead of doing 2 hours zone 2 ride, could do like an hour 30 minutes and then dedicate 30 minutes to sprint work. No one can be firing all cylinders 100% the entire year, and this is my current plan right now. So let me know what you think, and if you have already been there and done that and feeling generous, leave some advice so that we can all learn. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today. Not sure if it's interesting or not, watching me ramble about my plan to get stronger. So I'll continue to share my findings, and hopefully it's helpful, if not entertaining at least. I'll see you on the next one, and hopefully I can find some time to do a video about how I pack my bike for traveling. I haven't forgotten. So till next time.